Episode 4 of The Testaments quietly shifts the entire tone of the story. And the scariest part is how normal everything looks while it's happening. Nothing feels extreme at first. No chaos, no loud warning signs. Just everyday moments playing out the way they're supposed to. But underneath that calm surface, something is seriously wrong, and you can feel it building in every single scene. We move from a routine doctor's visit to a calm tea gathering. And on paper, it all seems harmless. People are polite, conversations are controlled, everything looks structured. But the tension never leaves. It's there in the silence, in the pauses, in the way people carry themselves. In this world, normal doesn't mean safe, and that's exactly what this episode keeps reminding us. Agnes's storyline is where that realization hits the hardest. Up until now, she's been trying to survive by doing what's expected of her. She's grown up inside Gilead, so her understanding of the world is shaped by it. You don't question something you've always known. You adjust, you follow, you stay in line. But something starts to shift here. You can see it in her reactions. The hesitation, the quiet discomfort she can't fully explain. It's like she's beginning to notice things she used to ignore. And once you start seeing it, you can't unsee it. That shift becomes clear when she has to return to the doctor. The first time we saw Dr. Grove earlier in the season, something about him already felt off. It wasn't obvious, but it was enough to make you uneasy. Now, going back for another appointment, that uneasiness turns into something much deeper. Fear. And what makes it even more difficult to watch is that Agnes doesn't fully understand why she feels this way. She hasn't been given the knowledge to process it. She's been raised to trust authority, especially men in power. So even when something feels wrong, she doesn't have the words to challenge it, but she feels it. And she still has no choice. That's what makes this moment so heavy. She can't refuse, and the decision isn't hers. So she goes back, carrying that fear with her. The scene itself is quiet, almost too quiet. She's given a sedative, and from that point, everything becomes unclear. The show doesn't spell it out, but it doesn't need to, because what comes after says everything. Later that night, when Agnes is alone, the realization starts to build. It's not immediate. It comes in small pieces. The way her clothes feel, the sense that something isn't right. And slowly, it connects. Something happened. Something she didn't agree to. Something she couldn't stop. The way this moment plays out is heartbreaking because it's so restrained. There's no dramatic outburst, just silence and the weight of understanding settling in. And in that silence, you see it clearly, something inside her breaks. Not just her sense of safety, but her trust in everything she's been taught. Because now the system she believed in has failed her in the most personal way possible. And it raises a question that really sits at the center of this episode. If a system claims to protect you, but allows this to happen, is it actually broken? Or is this exactly how it was built to function? That's the turning point for Agnes. Even if she doesn't say it out loud, something in her has changed. And that change is going to matter moving forward. At the same time, Daisy's storyline is building pressure in a completely different way. Daisy isn't conditioned by Gilead in the same way. She knows this world is wrong, but knowing that doesn't make it easier to survive inside it. In fact, it makes every moment more dangerous. From early in the episode, the threat is clear. She walks past bodies hanging in public, and it's not just a warning, it's a reminder. That could be her if she makes one mistake, and still she keeps pushing forward. The tea party scene is where everything tightens. On the surface, it's calm, controlled. Everyone is playing their role perfectly, but Daisy sees it as an opportunity. She takes a risk, slips away, and tries to find something useful. And then everything almost falls apart. She walks into a room she thought was empty, only to find Commander Kyle already there. That moment is tense in the quietest way. There's no dramatic music, no sudden movement, just the realization that she's been caught in the worst possible place. But she reacts fast. She keeps it simple, pointing to the chocolate on his desk and casually saying she hasn't had any since arriving. It's a small detail, but it works. He lets it go. She walks out safe. But it doesn't feel like a victory. It feels like a close call. Because deep down she knows that could have gone very differently. And by the end of the episode, you see the impact of all that pressure. She finally breaks down, completely overwhelmed, trying to hold it together while everything around her feels like it's closing in. That moment shows just how much this mission is taking from her. Then there's Candace, whose story adds another layer to everything we're seeing. She's been working quietly with Mayday, but now the pressure is catching up to her. The crackdown is getting stronger, and she knows she's running out of time. When she reaches out for help, there's desperation in her voice. She's scared, and for good reason. She can feel that they're getting closer, but the reality is harsh. There's no time left. And when Daisy later walks past the flower shop and sees it being raided, the outcome is already clear. Candace tried to escape and she didn't make it. Just like that, she's gone. No warning, no second chance, just another life erased by the system. And that moment reinforces something this episode keeps building toward in different ways through different characters. In Gilead, doing the right thing doesn't protect you. Being careful doesn't guarantee survival. And trusting the system can cost you everything. Now looking ahead, this episode feels like a turning point. Agnes is beginning to see the truth, but that awareness puts her in danger. The more she understands, the harder it will be for her to stay silent. Daisy is still pushing forward, but mentally, she's reaching her limit. The pressure is building, and it's only a matter of time before something gives. And with Gilead tightening its control even more, the next episode is likely to raise the stakes even higher. So now it comes down to this. Who breaks first? Agnes, as her world starts to fall apart from the inside? Or Daisy, as the weight of everything she's carrying becomes too much? Because after everything we've seen here, one thing is clear. There is no safe place in Gilead, and from this point on, it only gets worse.